Needham, and welcome to the August edition of What's My House Worth, the show that eats, sleeps, breathes real estate. Cover everything there, Ryan?
I think so, yeah.
My name is Rob Tickton. This is Ryan McDonald. We are with Hawthorne Real Estate. We are realtors. We also are design builders. And today's edition, we are going to be diving into July sales. And Ryan, a pretty busy month of July. Surprising maybe to some, not necessarily to us.
No,
but
nothing surprises us around here, Rob.
You got that right. Let's take a look at that sales data. And first number, as I said, that's not a small number, Ryan.
No, 46 sales of single families during the month of July. Looking at these numbers, Rob, compared to what we all agreed was a really strong year last year, every one of those numbers, Rob, is better than last year. We had 45 sales in July last year. Our average list price was under 1.1, so was our average sales price. Our percentages were 98 and 97 respectively. These are 99 and 98. Our sales price per square foot, Rob, is $381 this year. Last year was $356. The only number...
Let me guess. Days on market.
Yeah, days on market last year was 28, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So 44, though, is still really, really good. So that speaks to, I think we all agree, we had a strong spring.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, we've been, kind of giving some hints as to a little bit of doom and gloom the last couple of months, and there still are some properties lingering on the market, which we can, will hopefully be addressing as sales in the coming months. But I think looking back, if July tells you anything, we had a pretty strong year this year over last.
Absolutely, a sneaky strong spring.
Yeah, good job, July.
Good job. Trailing 6 months, let's take a look at how July stacks up with the previous 5 months. And I'll tell you what, Ryan, year over year, this is what we see, this climb from February up to June, and just a little dip in July, but pretty consistent.
Yeah, I mean,
graphs.
It's been a steady climb to get to where we are again, indicative of a strong spring.
And you want to see consistency. How about the month of July over the last 3 years?
6 years. Well, yeah, sure, 3.
I'm just talking about the consistent part, Ryan. Okay, but pretty good though, huh?
Yeah,
46?
Agreed. It's almost like there's a script to follow, that July is just getting in line and doing what it's supposed to be doing.
And I'll tell you what, August, as we know, has gotten off to a pretty hot start as well. But let's stay in July for now.
That's not just the weather.
That's very true. 94 Oak Street. So we're going to start with the listings. We're going to go the lowest sales price, work our way up. 94 Oak Street is the first one on the docket. This one, Ryan, in between Willow and Linden.
Yeah. So this is right in the heart of walk to town land. A nice little starter home opportunity. Smaller lot, under 7,000 square feet, but anything that goes out at 489 and is in pretty good shape, which this one is, it's going to get some attention.
976 Greendale, Ryan, awaits your personal touch. You ready?
Yeah, same, very, very similar. I mean, as with 94 Oak, your listing price is under 5. Another house that you can move right into. Great starter home opportunity for somebody in Needham.
Right, 94 Oak was built in 1956. This house right here built in 1949. It's attention all builders and developers. That's us.
It was.
So I guess we're qualified to talk about the next listing. That's 39 Mallard Road, and as you kind of look at what this sold for, Ryan, it was a pretty big spread there from list to sales price. I mean, there's a deadline for offers too, and it went under agreement in 7 days.
Yeah, I think this one probably is a candidate for redevelopment, Rob. It's in an area of town where there has been a lot of recent redevelopment of some post-war housing that went up. This one also, have a little bit of a stream in the backyard, so you always want to be aware of that when you're doing any kind of redevelopment in terms of where your water table is.
That's a good point. Definitely can be a little bit of an issue that you might not see coming otherwise.
Yep.
On Great Plain Avenue, kind of a higher visibility location in terms of its proximity to town and the ladder streets. 683 Great Plain Avenue. This is a house that went on as a for sale by owner.
It did.
The owners had a hard time selling it, so lo and behold, they hire an agent, and boom,
bang,
it sells. 683 Great Plain Avenue. The final sales price, Ryan, is
$598, Rob.
$598. There you go. And originally listed at $699.
Also a factor.
Also a factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that's why sometimes it's good, or maybe always it's good, to list your home with a broker because you'll be more apt to price it correctly. 96 Grand Street, dollars per square foot. This one's probably about as expensive as you'll see.
Yep.
It's 988 square feet, sells for $599. That's over $600 a square foot. But truth be told, Ryan, I like this house a lot.
So do I. It didn't feel like it was that small.
It didn't.
You remember the basement?
I do.
Remember what was in the basement?
Yes, a recliner.
And what else was in the basement?
Lally columns.
Right. The finished basement was finished with one chair and nothing else.
That's
I thought that was pretty. Like, I want to go down there, and I don't want anybody to go down there with me.
Yes.
And I don't want to do anything when I'm down there either.
The owner of that home certainly liked to have his quiet
That's
time.
right. God bless him.
Big fan of new construction, lives on Wyoming, not necessarily this house. It's 102 Wyoming Ave is the next listing. This one sells for $625. It was on the market, Ryan, for $619.
Yeah, I mean, this is another great little starter home. Wonderful neighborhood, quiet street right near Perry Park.
Yeah.
Sells, very quickly for a good number. I liked it.
And I like that picture with the white picket fence.
Yeah, very charming.
The jets in the master tub, Ryan, did not work at 55 Evelyn Road.
Okay.
But good news is, didn't bother the person buying the house. It goes on at $700. 55 Evelyn sells for $725.
Yeah, I mean, this one is good sized lots, over 10,000 square feet. It has the old, no longer in use railroad tracks in the back, which
Fun.
Hopefully, future site of some nice walking paths.
That's right.
So it was updated. This is I think again another well priced home that's sold quickly. Rob?
Yeah, and
Contributing to our strong numbers.
I think it's safe to say the rumors of the lack of circulation or the lack of inventory for the starter home might be a little exaggerated because we are staying in the sevens. This one is 66 Hillcrest Road. Ryan, this is right where Ingleside meets Hillcrest, so it's a little bit closer to Great Plain Avenue. Smaller lot.
It is, but it was very nicely, the owner had clearly just redone it prior to putting it on the market. It was nicely sodded and landscaped. And even though, as you mentioned, it's on that point where Hillcrest meets Ingleside, which is when you start to go up that hill pretty steeply, as you've known from jogging up that hill numerous times, it was a very flat yard. So I thought they did a good job with the landscaping there. So it was a nice feature.
And sometimes you'll see that on a slope street. You assume the backyard is going to be the same way, but
Not
it's
that
leveled
one.
out nicely. Not that one.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
Over at 18 Fairfax Road, a big fan of this neighborhood, Ryan. Right?
Okay.
So I have a question about this listing as we kind of look at the specs. No pressure here.
No,
listing
I don't feel
sheet.
any at all.
It says it's an easy walk to high school.
Okay.
Are you buying that?
From Fairfax?
Yeah, easy walk to high school.
To the back side of the high school, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So it's 0.8 of a mile. It's 16-minute walk.
Okay.
So I mean, I think we need to set a bar, maybe set a number here that we consider what an easy walk to anything is, right?
Well, do we have to define easy? I mean, do you have to do it at a pace? I mean, are you,
No, I don't think we have to. But
carrying anything?
let's do this. Let's just say if anything is walk to anything,
Okay.
it needs to be 15 minutes or less.
Well, I would maybe say a mile or less.
A mile or less.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Because you can bang a mile out in what, like 10, 15, no, probably 15 minutes.
Well, according to Google Maps, 0.8 of a mile is a 16-minute walk.
Okay, so maybe it takes a little longer than 15 minutes to walk a mile.
Right. It's probably 20.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But a mile, I'd say, is walkable.
All right, listen, we'll accept that answer. 3 Hazelton Avenue is the next listing. This one, I guess, also walked to the high school as well. Sells for $780.
Yeah, I mean, this one, it was nice. It was probably maybe a little bit aggressive out of the gates. It was a little dark. I know it's like walking through there. Everything was kind of dark.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but great neighborhood. So it's still $780. It's a good number.
Yeah, great neighborhood, great street. 5 beds, 3 baths.
Yeah, it had nice little back stairs, which we always like the back stairs.
Yeah.
You don't see it there very often in a Cape style like that too. So that was kind of cool.
No, you do not. Speaking of Cape style homes, 134 Hillcrest Road is the next listing, and time to look a little bit of Red Riding there.
Yeah, and I'll let you take it away. But
Thanks. I know you want to talk.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
no. Believe me,
All right.
believe me. I've said too much already.
I'll let you if you want. So, and I guess I'm going to say a lot of probably how you felt as you walked through this house, because we walked through it together.
Yep.
The 2 steps down to get to the front steps, only to walk up another 2 steps, was a little quirky for sure.
Almost unplanned.
True. That's
Wait, what? Oh, more
Yeah,
steps.
look what we have here. But I just, this is one of these houses where you walk through it and you kind of get a sense like, is this house priced right? And at $729, I thought to myself, they might have a hard time selling this thing at $729. Maybe it's worth $7.
You were right.
Yeah, right. I was, but not quite the direction I thought it would go. So, in my mind's eye, I thought it was maybe a $700,000 house. Sells for $800,000. Just seems awfully aggressive for this house, and good for the seller, obviously.
Good for the seller.
And it just goes to show you, timing is everything. But I just felt like the seller got a great deal on this house.
Yeah, I would concur.
All right. And you put it up against the next listing.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Which is 114 Beaufort,
Yep.
and for $5,000 more, I would rather have this house all day long.
For sure.
It's slightly smaller,
Just slightly.
and it looks a little bit like a cape/unicorn, but it's right next door to Perry Park, and there was nothing to do with that house except to move right in.
Right. It's very nicely updated.
Yep.
The only knock on it is it doesn't have much of a yard, but neither does 134 Hillcrest.
Right, but it's got Perry Park.
But it has Perry Park, right? I mean, because it's on a corner, so corner properties on smaller lots aren't going to have much as far as yards go. But Perry Park is as you mentioned now twice, literally across the street. And it was very nicely renovated and updated, and it for 805 versus 8 at Hillcrest, I'm with you all day.
All right, good to have you on board, Ryan.
Yep.
224 Greendale Avenue is the next listing. Sells for $810. It was on the market at $815,000. Big lot.
Big lot. It's over 20,000 square feet, and the property is over 2,600 square feet of living space. So space is abundant at 224 Greendale.
That was on the market for 25 days. 14 Blacksmith Drive was on the market for just 4 days, Ryan, and estate sale.
Yeah, and I think somebody got a good deal here, Rob. I think there's a lot of upside to this house. It's a nice colonial. It needs some cosmetics.
Yep.
But it's on a big 11,000 plus square foot lot in a very quiet neighborhood. I like this property. I like this purchase. And I think this is easily $1 million property when you put some TLC into it.
There you go. 114 Richdale Road is the next listing. It goes for just about 25,000 under list. Again, a lot of these houses, Ryan, on the market for not very long. And this one is no exception, just 14 days.
Yeah, this one I was a little surprised by this price, to be quite honest with you. It's fairly dated, a lot of original finishes, and also it's checked in at under 2,200 square feet on public record. So there was a little bit of a discrepancy there. And I noticed as we'll hit a few more of these, as we get towards the end of the show, there's quite a bit of that going on this month. A lot of public record discrepancies on the square footages. Again,
Great Plain Avenue?
I harp on it a lot. I think it's just something that you always have to look at when you're buying a house, is just to figure out what you're getting. And square footage is the place to start.
Right, and on the other side of the coin, if you're listing the house, you need to be able to explain it.
Yeah, absolutely. When you put a number out there, you got to be able to, and most people can. I'm not suggesting that they can't.
Right.
It's just that something that you want to make sure you're on top of as a buyer.
Very good. 37 Newell Avenue. This one was listed at 2268 in terms of square footage. It felt like 2268.
Public record says it's 2004, so. There's 200,
See, that's weird.
264 square feet that
Well, it's 2204 or 2004?
No, 2004.
Oh, all right. That's weird because I thought it felt like 2268.
Well, there you go. Sneaky walk to town, though.
Sneaky walk to town.
Yep.
And hey, there you go. Sells for $862,500. 76 Tudor Road. We had both walked through that house and came away thinking that one would sell pretty quickly too.
Yep.
Move-in condition in that location. When we walked through it, if you remember, we didn't know what the listing price was going to be.
Yep.
Right. And we both thought mid-8s.
Sure.
Right.
Yep. I thought they positioned it really well at 819. Again, the square footage is overstated a little bit here, but with these split level houses, that's not uncommon because often public record doesn't include all the finished area in the basement.
Wow, you're a square footage hound.
I was all over it this month because it seemed like it was every house, so I kind of got carried away.
But again, I mean, talk about repeated themes. You can't underprice a house, can you?
No.
Because we thought it was worth mid-8s. It went on for 819 and it sells for 865.
Yep.
Case closed.
Case closed.
10 Hazelton Avenue sells for $880,000.
Yep.
On for $939. But a lot of sunlight, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Extraordinary.
this was a very unique layout. It just kept going. Big lot, just under 11,000 square feet. Again, this is a ranch, so there's an extensive finished lower level. So the public record, or the square footage you see there at 4265 does include that lower level, and it's disclosed as such. So, but a lot of space. Still, I think 880. I like it at 880 more than I liked it at 939. So I think at the end of the day, the way things shook out, this is probably a good value. 43
Douglas Road. I have a feeling that you probably think that the buyer did pretty well on that, right? Because it sold for $915,000. I remember you thinking it was priced really well at $900. So my question for you is, and I have not seen your notes, if you could say one thing about this listing, if you had time to say one thing, and it was specifically in one room, would that room be the master bath?
Oh man, it's not what I was going to say. But why did you ask?
Do you remember the master bath?
Now it's escaping me.
Oh, okay, because the master bath had a sink and a toilet and a tub, but it had no shower.
Oh, that's right.
right? It was
That's
just
right.
a master bath with just a bath.
Right. I forgot about that.
And not a shower.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot to
I
mention
can't
that.
believe either.
I mean, I'm almost disappointed in myself.
All right, let's go back to this public record thing. 772 Great Plain Avenue. Is that another one you were going to talk
It
about?
is. Public Records got it at 2060. The listing had it at 2999.
Again, a split level though.
Yep, that's
so you run into
the
that.
basement, yeah.
Yeah, the basement.
This one was updated throughout. Recently sold. This sold back in 2011 for $785. But I think the owner had since done quite a bit, at least cosmetically, to update this house. But sold quickly. Big number. It's right near the corner of Webster and GPA.
Right, and had a dining room table in the basement.
It did.
30 Newberry Park is the next listing. Originally on for 1050. Felt a little aggressive at that price when it came on, right? Needed, and again, we're right back to the location.
Right. I mean,
It's not location.
No,
but
but I think this one could have been.
Well, it's certainly location.
For sure.
Okay.
I mean, I would chuck the other location in there. This is a great spot. It's a beautiful street. It's right near Hershey. It's a great commuter location. This one just needed some love. It needs a new roof. It needed windows, HVAC, etc. I think it's easily a property that's well into the 1 points when all is said and done. It wasn't quite there yet.
Okay. 95 Clark Road. I think we can both agree that the seller was not a huge fan of Bank of America.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't see that every day.
No, I didn't know.
Does that work against you if you submit an offer with that?
I mean, if that's my bank, I'm probably going to go ahead and use it.
And it might cost you. Because everything else being equal, they might not like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You don't see that every day.
No.
For sure.
Well, we try to do things differently here.
Right.
Anything else before I jump to the next one?
Other than the public record?
Oh. Okay, go ahead. Here, let me just push the record.
It's public record's 2134. So I mean,
Okay.
And it was.
Yeah.
A lot of times these listings are saying source is public record, and then they're saying also includes blah blah blah.
Right.
So it can't be both.
Yeah.
It either has to be other measured owner, et cetera, as the source if it's not going to be right on public record.
Okay, 96 Ellicott Street is the next listing. Similar situation to the Great Plain listing in the sense that it was for sale by owner.
Yep.
Eventually goes to a listing agent, sells for 1030. Next 6 listings, Ryan. Next
Bang,
6
bang, bang.
listings all go for over list. Let's start at 73 Stevens. This is a house that we talked about just back in 2014. It sold for $989.
They went to the well twice and came up big.
Yeah, because in 2014 when it sold for $989, we thought, wow, that's a pretty big number. But this time, I mean, look at that, 1045 for that house. Pretty good.
Ladder Street location.
34 Prospect Street. Shout out to the listing agent.
Yeah.
Love what they did here. Put it on for 1199 on April 28th. Just 11 days later, they reduced it by $100,000. Kudos to both the listing agent and the seller for doing that. But sure enough, it goes under agreement for more than what it was reduced to.
Right.
And so it goes to show there's nothing wrong with an aggressive reduction. 97 Highgate Street. I mean, you can't ask for much better of a listing if you're a listing agent than this house, right?
Okay.
Right? I mean, it looked great. It was impeccable. Really good location. Location. 4 beds, 3 baths. You just kind of felt like this thing wasn't going to be on the market for very long.
Yeah, the only thing I noticed there, the first thing I noticed I walked up was there was a bubbler
Yeah, I remember
in
that.
the front yard, and it was bubbling.
Yep.
So we do know that there's a high water table over there, and that's something that the current owners, I'm sure, now aware of.
Yeah, probably. Hopefully they're aware of it before it starts to really rain. 326 Webster Street.
Big lot.
Big lot and big spread there. This is a 27,000 square foot lot. Sells for 1175. Nice house.
Yeah, updated pool across from Avery Playground in the Heights. Nice.
All right, I'm going to hand the baton over to you.
Yep.
For the next one, 48 Dunster Road. And what do you have to say about this one, Ryan? Everybody's watching you.
I'm going to go with yikes, Rob. I mean, I thought it was well priced at $949. I mean, Dunster Road, great location. It's on the backside of Mitchell School. Nice neighborhood. There's a lot to like about the property. Huge lot, like 20,000 square foot lot. So that alone,
that helps.
is gonna really help push up the desirability. But I think they caught lightning in the bottle here with the buyer wanting specifically a house in that neighborhood for, as I understand it, some relatives. So this one probably got a little bit competitive, and then it was just the right buyer at the right time pushing this number to, a point where I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it at 949, maybe $1 million, with some competition, but 1.2 seems like a lot for what needs to be done in this house.
Excellent job, and you clearly have these guys captivated. So good job there. 58 Mayo Avenue as we continue this march through homes that were listed. This one, of course, associated with our office, right?
Yep, this was our listing, well maintained. It was a pretty clean cut deal on the Ladder Street. It was a house that really sold itself, so we just didn't have to do anything.
All right, that's always fun. 1490 Central Avenue is the next one. This we're getting up there in sales price. 1275 is the final on this one. Big lot, Ryan. And boy, that's a really round number there for square footage. I hate to go back to the square footage well.
You mean because it's 3565 per public record?
Oh, who knew? 187. Oops, sorry.
Go ahead. No, please.
Okay, thank you. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. 187 Melrose Avenue. This was actually a deal of the month candidate for me for the buyer.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
I thought this was a really good price. Really good price for the buyer.
Yeah, it was a house built in 2001. It probably needed a little bit of cosmetic refreshing, but which is surprising when you hear it was built in 2001. But yeah, I agree. It's a really nice spot, and it was
really nice.
And it was a nice layout for new construction. It wasn't a canned layout, in my opinion. It was well thought out.
135 Highgate Street is that one sells for 135. It was on the market for 1325.
Yep, also out of our office.
Out of our office. Yep.
Nicely staged, well prepared, positioned house, and it has sport court. Showed very nicely.
And 10 Damon Road. How about that days on market?
Yeah. That went quickly. That one was being shopped around a little bit before it went on.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. Not your cookie cutter colonial there.
No.
Not your cookie cutter colonial.
Damon's had quite a bit of activity from a redevelopment standpoint too.
Yeah, so is Ardmore, which is our next listing. 25 Ardmore. 136. I tell you, I like this price too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, this one sold when it was new in 13 for 1.343. So, I'd say the current buyer got a pretty good deal.
I would say so. 23 Tudor Road, big lot here, Ryan. You don't see many 21,000 square foot lots on Tudor.
No, you don't. Big house too, just under 6,000 square feet. House built in 2003. Went out, in the high 1.4, sold in high 1.3, so I think it probably landed where it ought to have been.
Right, built in 2003. 110 Blake Street, you want to have a fun fact?
Yeah, I'd love one.
Okay, thanks. Highest selling house on MLS on Blake Street prior to this one.
I'd say it's probably in the 5s or 6s.
Yeah, 634.5. 71 Blake sold for 634.5 back in 2005.
Well, it's blazing new trails on Blake Street. This lot sold for 575 last year.
I mean, blazing new trails for sure.
Yeah.
Sunnyside up. 11 Sunnyside Road, and a little bit of history lesson with this one, Ryan. You want to?
Go for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the description on the listing sheet says it all. The Life is Good home. This is where the creators of Life is Good resided when they came up with this idea. In fact, I'm told it was in the garage of this house. I was kind of surprised there wasn't a picture of the inside of the garage.
Yeah, really. There were a bunch of people cheering and having champagne.
Yeah. Why not? Lots of memories in there.
Facing Cricket Field. You always see this house when you're going to and from Cricket Field.
Yeah, that's a fun location. 15 Armin Way is the next listing and sells for 1.425. Pretty good number here. 4 finished levels.
Yep, this was built as part of that new subdivision off Nahoyden in 2001.
Got it. Lawton, 85 Lawton Road. How about that 1-year home warranty for a house built in 2004, Ryan?
Yeah, that's not a bad little nugget.
No, why not?
I mean, it's got some value, sure. It's 85 Lawton. Honestly, Rob, I thought 2 things would happen. One, I thought it would go quicker.
Okay.
And 2, I thought it would sell for closer to its list than it did.
Yeah.
So I was a little surprised. It's not new construction. It was built in 04, as you mentioned.
It's a lot of square footage.
It is a lot of square footage, and it was nicely done. It was a nicely finished house. So I was a little surprised that it lingered, because Lawton's a really nice location.
Yeah, very nice.
There was a lot to like, and so it kind of surprised me a little bit. So I think the buyer here did very well.
So interesting, kind of similar case on our next listing, 12 Livingston Circle. This is another house that ended up going for considerably less than it was originally listed for. It was on the market for a little while.
Yeah.
Again, we're seeing a lot of colonials that aren't cookie cutter colonials.
Right.
And sells for just 1.47. So do you like this price?
I liked Lawton. I would take my $20,000 less and take Lawton.
And
I just thought it was more of a charming home than Livingston. If you look at the history on Livingston, it was sold new for 1.4 in 05. It's sold again in 2012 also for 1.4. So that first seller didn't get much appreciation. And then this year it sells for 1.47. So interesting history on 12 Livingston.
Okay, walk to town location coming up, 945 Webster Street. This one sells for just $5,000 more than the Livingston Circle listing. This one sells for $1,475. Next up is 166 Fair Oaks Park. This is a house, Ryan, you and I both liked.
Yep.
And I think we both like it at that price, right?
I do.
1582. I mean, obviously, very good location there.
Definite deal of the month candidate for the buyer. It's oozing charm at this house.
Not a new construction,
And
however.
It didn't have a mudroom. Didn't ooze a mudroom, unfortunately.
Right, and people like their mudrooms.
Yeah. And the detached garage, I think, hurt people at that price point.
Okay. All set?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
I mean, I was just talking about how much we love it, and now all of a sudden you're talking about
Well,
what
I
people
mean,
like
maybe
about
just
it.
a little bit of justification as to why it didn't fly off the
Go
shelf.
easy on the poor house.
But I like we said, I thought it was going to sell quicker and for more.
136 Manning Street. Next up, this is a new construction with a really deep backyard. Ryan sells for $163. Next up is 35 Newbury Park. That's a pretty good price right there, Ryan. We both walked through that one, correct?
Yeah, it was built. It was resales built in 09. It was kind of like, for me, it had a lot of nice finishes, and then it kind of left me wanting more in a few areas. Like the textured ceilings, for example.
Yeah.
I'm spending 1.7. I want those things smoothed out.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, the little things like that. But I'm extremely picky.
It was a big lot, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. And again, Newbury Park, fantastic street, great location.
Yeah, agreed. Another fantastic street, fantastic location is 28 Old Farm Road. And we're climbing, Ryan. We are climbing.
Yeah, I mean,
1925.
This is a perfect example of, I mean, this land sold for $8.25. And you say, wow, $8.25, that house did great, but there's no way that house that was on that property is selling for $8.25 if it wasn't on that property.
So you're saying that the value was in the land?
The value was in the land by a factor of 10.
Right.
So it's just that's a great example of a homeowner who who really maximized the value of their property because of the redevelopment potential for it down the road.
Right, exactly. It didn't matter if the previous house was on the lot or nothing was on the lot. It was selling for.
No nice Needham young family was going to pay anywhere close to $825 for that property.
And we could probably do an entire show about that one little fact right there.
Right.
353 Country Way is our big seller, Ryan. A big jump from Old Farm to Country Way in terms of sales price, $275. What do you think about that? Anything?
I think I mean, it's a big number, Rob. That's bucking up near the $3 million range. That's our biggest one in a while. And especially for a house that we I mean, I didn't get to see it. I don't assume you did either.
No?
I don't believe it ever made it to
The broker tour?
right, or at least the open market.
Or else we would have seen it. On the market as of August 4th, 2016, Ryan. So snapshot of
Snapshot time.
Excuse me?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. You just totally threw me off.
All right.
But I'm going to keep going with it. A snapshot of what the market is looking like as of hold it now.
Okay.
Go.
We have 75 active single-family listings, Rob, up from 61 last year. So, there's a decent amount of inventory. I mean, like we did talk about. We started this show talking about how well the July had done and performed. Last month, June, same thing, year over year. So as we've been saying for a while, the performance is still very strong. I mean, there's just the same amount of demand. People are still competitive. You're seeing homes going for prices that are still raising our eyebrows a little bit. Although we had a couple good deals for the buyers this month, which is always nice to see.
Sure.
But the fact remains that we have more inventory than we've had in the past.
True, but not quite as much
It's
more.
being absorbed.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to see as we head into the fall, we're going to see fewer things coming on the market as we typically do this time of year, and we may see some of these houses coming off. Now, what we also saw that's reduced this number down to the 70s from where it was in the 100 range is, in addition to properties going under agreement and being absorbed, we've seen a number of properties expiring or being withdrawn.
Right, so they could come back on next spring, and all of a
on.
sudden we're in a similar situation with excessive inventory.
Right, but that's fine.
Totally, and the one thing that I like to see is that the gap between last year and this year is closer in terms of inventory, but the average listing price is also really similar as well. I think if the average listing price was way up, then I'd be a little bit more
No, I agree.
troubled. So, okay, we've covered a lot here
So
today,
all in all, we
obviously.
feel a little bit better?
I think so.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's nice.
Good.
If people want to reach out to us, Ryan, how would they go about doing that?
They can give us a call, Rob, at 781-707-6564. They can email us at rob.ryan@hawthornre.com. They can follow us on Twitter at Hawthorne_WMHW. Or, as we mentioned before, you can accost us in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Or on the street, or wherever you run into us. We're happy to talk real estate all the time.
We don't mind that. Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most surprised. How surprised are you that the summer is coming to an end?
Feels like it's flying by, Rob.
Give me a number.
6.
I'm going to go 3. That'll do it for this edition of What's My House Worth. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you again very soon.